Hey guys, welcome to another video on Marvel. This is going to be me covering how I think the MCU currently has a multifaceted and very complex Captain America problem, beginning by covering Isaiah Bradley, and I'm going to go over why that is, and how it's mostly shown, although it was shown in Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's mostly shown in Brave New World. So let's get into it. Before I get into everything deep, dive into everything, share, like, subscribe, do whatever you will. I have to ask, I made this video because they just don't give Isaiah Bradley much to do at all, and there's so much depth and potential with him, and I think this is the starting point of the multifaceted Captain America problem the MCU is currently facing. Let's break this down. Isaiah Bradley, because you made the point of making this character relevant to Falcon and Winter Soldier and very important to Sam as a result of their interactions in that series. And I think you explained his history relatively well, although it was clunkily done again. I'll get to that in a minute. So you explain what he is, what he's doing there in the film relatively well, because they acknowledge that either no one watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, and the most that did hated it, and I did as well. I found it really shite. But they include Isaiah Bradley just to have him locked up as an emotional focal point during the beginning of the film, and he constantly says, like, I can't go back to prison, I can't. If you put me in solitary confinement, I fear for your safety, because PTSD will kick in and I will just kick your ass. And it's like, yeah, okay, show us that. Show us more of, like, his PTSD. Like, not that I want to see him suffering or see the flashbacks of the dreadful things that were done to him, in wartime, as was based on real soldiers in America, unfortunately. I don't want to see that, but if you're going to frame him as PTSD based and he's in an area where that's going to trigger, show that, or show him dealing with that rather than him just saying it. And to be honest, I'm like, why is Isaiah Bradley not helping out? I understand in this film it's because he's being framed, and that's Sam's motivation emotionally to get kicked in the arse and get involved. But can we not give Isaiah Bradley something to do? Because I feel like he was kind of wasted in this film. He could have broken out and helped at pivotal moments. He could have helped against the Hulk fight. There were things he could have done where he would have been incredibly useful. Because even Sam says at one point, I should have taken that serum, Bucky's full of shit, because he has a meeting with Bucky. And he says that he didn't need to take the serum because you're still who you are. You don't need to be Steve. You don't need to take the serum. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but that's that. And then it's like, yeah, I needed to take the serum to beat Hulk, which they resolve that conflict in a really interesting way. I'll get to that in a minute. But it's so bizarre to me that you want to put this character forward as a reflection of our unfortunate, really real muddied wartime and political history and real racism into the MCU. And yes, you can't do Isaiah Bradley without including that, because that is core to his character and how he was written. So you can't do it without including that. So I don't mind them including that in Falcon and Winter Soldier or here. But if you want to redeem him, or not redeem him is the wrong word, bring him to the forefront and make him a character of interest with all of his history. Give him something to do. Like, why didn't he break out of prison? Honestly, why was he just sitting there? Waiting to die. Like, I understand it'd be worse if you run, was what Sam said to him, but when it's like getting down to the wire and Ross is on an anger tantrum in the middle of a fucking North Sea or wherever it was, and no one's dealing with it because obviously Ross just doesn't want Isaiah Bradley around, it's a stain on the country, or his anger is like, I don't give a shit about Bradley, then why didn't he just break out? Because that's what you should have done. Or if they put him in solitary confinement, he breaks out, then stops the Red Hulk because it's like, I don't like the government, but this is literally the president, and frankly, I hate the president, so I have an excuse to punch him in the face. Like, I think that's what he would have done. But you don't use him, you don't do anything with him, and it annoys the ever-living hell out of me. So please, for this film, for further projects, if you're going to use Isaiah Bradley, use Isaiah Bradley. Have him show up in Thunderbolts. Have him show up in give him a Disney Plus series, and show him when he breaks out of prison the first time. Show him where he fights Winter Soldier. Maybe he fights Red Guardian in the past, and then Red Guardian's going about, oh, I fought Captain America, but it's his version. It's him stealing one of Steve's suits or something. It's something different. So we have that Red Guardian payoff, and we see Isaiah Bradley doing kick-ass things in the past before he hides from the government, because he obviously would, because the government were cunts to him. But because the government were complete assholes to him unequivocally, unquestionably, unequivocally, and completely. So he does. So he does hide, but have him do something, for the love of God. Don't have him there with the serum, still quite formidable at his age, and have him do nothing. Have him partner with Falcon. Have him, or Captain America, I should say now. Have him partner, well, both of them. Have him partner with both of them. Have him train John Walker. If John Walker goes off on one. They'd never do that, because then they'd have to try and redeem John Walker and say that he did try his best. Unfortunately went off the rails, because, he did go off the rails and slightly crazy at points. So have it be like, look, I've been where you are. I've been misjudged by the government. I've made mistakes, or my arguments were framed as mistakes, rather. You actually did make mistakes, but maybe it's time for redemption rather than hatred. If you want to use that shield, if you want to wear an outfit like that, then let's sort. If you want to be Captain America, let me teach you how to be him, like he trains Falcon. Have him train Walker. Again, I don't think they'd ever do this, because Marvel would have to have the balls to try and reframe Walker as a redeemable character. But I don't think they have the balls to, because everyone hates Walker for replacing Cap, which is what you're meant to. You're meant to feel uncomfortable about it, and then he goes off the rails far and tarnishes a legacy, arguably. So, all that kind of thing. I understand the hatred of I'm not sticking up for Walker here, but I think him being redeemed and then trained by Isaiah Bradley to learn how to be Captain America, or at least a version that Isaiah Bradley would accept, would be interesting. Or him being like, I hate John Walker, because he was in that. Alright, then work with him, fix him, show him how not to be the type of Captain America you fear in the government's control. That would be a really interesting, polarising, and genuinely emotionally heartfelt storyline, I think, if they could write it. But I don't think they have the balls. But just do something with Isaiah Bradley, for God's sake. The poor man's been through hell, and is literally just there as an emotional catharsis in anything he's in. Do something with him. He's got super soldier serum. Give him a redeeming moment. Give him a hero moment. I want to see that. Why wouldn't you want to see that? Especially if you want diversity. There's a character that's diverse. There's a character that has an emotionally rich history and an emotionally rich trauma that you could do something with. Maybe he gets over himself and helps train John Walker as an act of penance for them both, so he doesn't hate the government as much. Not that Isaiah needs to make penance, obviously, but he has a lot he's holding on to. So maybe the penance in this case is him letting that go for his own soul and his own sake and his own feelings. But just do something. That was the only character I was like, you're really wasting him here. I get why you're doing this, but you're really wasting him. And I know what you're saying. The actor is older. I believe it's the same actor that played John Jones voiced John Jones in DC animated stuff. So that was fun to me. But the actor is older. But it's like, yes, but in universe he has super soldier serum and is clearly a badass. So doesn't matter about the actor's age. That's what CGI is for, or that's what stunt trainers are. Just do it. It can be done. Why aren't we doing it? Well, we've still got the actor working. It saddens me that they're not using Isaiah Bradley to do anything of interest with, and there's so much depth you could explore, but they don't do it. So yeah, I think that covers the video subject matter quite well, and is a good point to end this video here. Like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will. It's really appreciated, and it would be nice to build a small community of nerds that regularly view the videos and have conversations, discourse, and debate here in the comments, don't you think? Even if I never get to do this job, which I don't think I ever will, it would be nice to build up some viewers. But that's the end of the video, guys. What do you think? Do you want this to continue as a series? I've got a lot of interesting things I could say about Captain America throughout the MCU in its current state, as a character, and as a mantle. And I think I could make a good series out of this, but what do you guys think? Comment below and let me know. That's the end of the video, guys. Cheers.